Hey guys, welcome back to another vlog. So today is currently Sunday. I actually don't know what the day is today. It's Sunday the 13th of July. If you caught the previous vlog, then we're pretty much just continuing on where that one left off. So let me show you my current whip. I'm also gonna take these off because I think there's a bad glare. I realise I never ever wear my glasses in photos or pictures or anything, but I literally need glasses all the time. So anyway, this is my current whip. So like I said, if you caught that video, you might have seen me working on this. This is going to be an all over, well, it's almost, basically it's nearly done, all over 2-row stripe cardigan in, this is the Baramu Donegal Twists DK in Fairy, and this is Drops Soft Tweed in, I think it's Raven. I think I said it was something else in the previous video, but I think it's Raven, which is basically the black colour. So I am essentially nearly done. I am about to do the Italian cast off on the bottom hem for this rib. It's got quite a big rib portion, and then the only things I have left to do are the double knit button bands, the collar, and I need to re-knit one of the cuffs because I basically knit one on a 3mm and one on a 3.5, and I need to make them both 3mm. So this is my current whip. I'm hoping to finish this up in the next couple of days, and then ideally we can, get on to doing something else. I feel like Sundays for me are a bit of a reset day. I am going to do a bit of planning. I use a Hobonichi planner. If you're into planning, you might know what these are. Please also don't mind the fact that I'm missing a nail. It came off yesterday and I just haven't been bothered to stick it back on yet. But yeah, I love these. I love using planner stickers, doing I don't know, loads of different spreads and stuff. This is kind of what my planner looks like. Honestly, it's fun to me, but I use it to keep track of I've currently got 2 patterns in test. I've got some products in some physical shops, which I don't know, I feel like I'm really bad at marketing it. I always leave my website link down below. So handmade bags, knit needle cases, all that kind of thing. But I need to basically tackle a task today that I have kind of been not putting off, but just waiting until I had a minute to sit down and do it. So I currently have products stocked in 2 kind of I'd say local shops. They're not super local to me, but relatively nearby shops. And I am basically considering taking my products out of one of them. One of them is super well run, literally never had any problems. The other one is a bit newer, and I just feel like it's not as well organized. And I thought I was had a one-off kind of bad, not even bad experience, but just something that was not sure on. And then we have a big group of essentially all of the sellers that are part of this shop, and I've seen now that a couple of other people have kind of some of the same concerns that I do, and I just don't know if it's basically worth me leaving the stuff in there and dealing with the aggravation. So I need to basically sit down and properly go through all of the sales reports and everything and email them about that, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. These things happen, but I don't want to remain selling with that shop and then be at a loss if more and more things go wrong. So essentially that's what I need to do now, because like I said, I have kind of been putting it off for the last couple of days. I feel like I've been really busy, so I haven't been at home just to be able to sit down and tackle sorting this email out. The other thing is that I kind of want to take this little small business in a different direction, I guess. I really want to focus more on specifically the pattern writing and the pattern side of things rather than just selling physical products. So what I'll probably do is leave my stuff in one of the shops and leave everything on the website, but I don't know how much more I'm going to be making. I might just kind of sell that until it sells out. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, really the pattern and then the patterns, the knitting, that kind of thing. That's what I'm really passionate about. So I am actually a seamstress, if you didn't know, my day-to-day job. So I literally do so all day, every day. I also have a first class degree in fashion design, so I feel like that element, like the design element, the knitting element, the fashion is really where my passion is and really what I want to like pursue and grow. And I feel like doing so many different things, in the sense of like, I have a job, I work as a seamstress, I'm trying to do like all the knitting stuff and then also selling physical sewn products. I feel like it's just juggling a little bit too much at the minute. So yeah, I think going forward, really want to try and focus more on just the knitting pattern side of things, and yeah, just see how it goes. I'm gonna sit and sort this email out. Sorry, there's like some kids arguing outside my window. And then yeah, work on this knit, and then I guess I'll show you when we get onto the button bands, see what we get up to. I'm gonna do some planning, use a insane amount of stickers because it just brings me joy.
I don't even need to try it on to know it would work. We're not playing hard enough.
The other day I bought myself this like diffuser thing from B&M. Basically just like put water in it and then like essential oils, and it just makes the room smell nice. It's also like a lamp, and I just had all of these different like scents delivered. So I don't know what I'd say what flavour, what smell I want to have in my room at the minute, but I feel like I could get some really good like ambiance going in here. I'm kind of torn. I don't know which one to go for. I got all of these, and then so I like love ginger. I love like eating ginger, the smell of ginger. So there wasn't one in this packet, so I did also buy just like a separate one. These were just like from Amazon, honestly. They were like relatively cheap, so I don't know, I need to pick which one to go for. Just been doing the Italian bind off, and look, the yarn has just literally snapped, so I'm gonna hopefully go back a bit and finish this off.
Forming a memory, something of you to carry with me into the future.
That sounds nice. I think I'd like that.
The fan is on, so I do apologise about the noise, but this is now the 4th time that this yarn has snapped while I'm doing an Italian bind off. This is the drop soft tweed, so yeah, can't say that I'm massively impressed with that, to be honest. Gonna have to keep like attaching bits. I don't know why it keeps breaking, but yeah, kind of annoying. I've just finished the cast off. I actually can't believe how many times this yarn broke. So bear in mind, like, I have not had any problems with the drop soft tweed the whole way through knitting this. And look, if you look at the cast off, each of these is everywhere that it broke. And I know obviously like you do pull kind of tight on an Italian cast off, but I don't think it should have been doing it this much. Like, this is a bit extreme. So I don't know, maybe a word of warning if you're using this yarn, don't pull super tight on the Italian cast off. I'm gonna weave all of these in now, so that when it blocks, hopefully they like kind of felt in and they don't, I don't know, break any further. But yeah, not super impressed, so that's that. So super quick update. Also, completely unrelated, I started using some different hair products, and I'm just hoping that this survives the night. I feel like no matter how good wash day is, as soon as you go to sleep on remotely wavy hair, I literally wake up and it's like out here. But yeah, anyway, I don't know, I'm just admiring my hair. Before I bleached my hair at like the beginning of last year, my hair did like actually ringlet, and you can kind of see the color difference here. This is all root, and then like this is where the hair dye is, but now you can kind of see in places it has actually started curling again. I feel like I can safely call that a curl. So okay, so unrelated, I have just finished my first button band. I always start with the side that doesn't have buttonholes because I feel like it's so much easier to figure things out on the side that you're not like, I don't actually break the yarn for double knit button bands. I do the thing where you like yarn over, depending on how, like an amount of times depending on how tall you need the button band to be, and then yeah, essentially you don't have loads of ends to weave in. but I do just find it's easier to work the flat side first. So you can kind of see where the button band is. There is like an ever so slight jog, but I've kind of just been trying to like manipulate the stitches a little bit, because technically they are actually perfectly lined up in sense of like where I picked up the stitches, but obviously I think where you knit the last stitches together through the back loop, I don't know, that kind of like column of stitches I think is the one that is ever so slightly off. Like, I don't know, you can kind of see how it's like in line, boop, and then like goes back. But I really don't think it's that bad. I'm gonna leave this as is. I'm quite pleased with how it turned out, considering. So yeah, that is that. My dilemma now is, what buttons do I want to use? So I've just put a poll on my Instagram story, but I honestly don't know how well these are going to show up. I have like this huge box of buttons in my room because my great nan, she's like 96 and she just has stuff, like she just owns stuff. And like a little while ago, maybe like a year ago, she basically whipped out this whole collection of like old buttons and stuff and was just like, here you go. And some of it's like proper vintage, like they were like literally falling apart, bless her. But some of them are actually like whole usable sets of buttons, because that's the other thing. Some of them are like odd ones, and I have a lot of odd buttons and just random things from over the years. But I tend to not really buy that many buttons because I just have so many sat in my stash. So I've kind of narrowed it down to 2. These ones actually are not from her. These ones I did get a little while ago. Truthfully, I was ordering some yarn and I only needed to spend like another £2 or £3 or something to get free shipping, and so I ended up getting a load of these buttons because they just looked cute, and I thought, why not? Like, buying these to get free shipping was like the cost of what the shipping would be, so like of course you'd want to get free shipping. Anyway, not the point. These ones are from her. I don't think that these ones are vintage. These are just ones that she's kind of had sat around, but these are the different ones. So obviously this is like a mother of pearl, like iridescent kind of thing, and this is like a deep kind of like purple, I would say borderline burgundy. This one I feel like, try and hold these up, would be fun for like a bit more of like a pop, like a contrast. Obviously like the fairy yarn is like, what, oh my god, I can't even hold this, is like the white twisted in with the pink, so I feel like that would be quite cool. And then like, I don't know if you can see like the shine that it has is kind of pink, but then the burgundy, there are actually flecks of burgundy in the yarn, and I feel like it is a good middle ground between the pink and the black. So yeah, this is kind of where I'm at. Good news is though, is that they are both almost identical in size. So I think, well, I put a post up on my Instagram story, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that I think I have the least amount of these, but I might even have an even amount. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to calculate how many buttonholes I need and what size, just knit it all, knit the collar, knit the cuffs, etc., and then come back and pick buttons at the end. Because of the same size, the buttonholes are going to be the same size and the quantity of buttonholes. So yeah, this is where I'm at. I don't know, I was 100% thinking I would use these, and then it wasn't until I got these out of the box that I then found the other buttons, and now I'm like debating. So yeah, I'll let you know when that happens, but I need to essentially pick up for the other side and do the other side. This is gonna need a block for sure. I feel like this is pulling a bit, but I did pick up in every stitch, and it's a 3mm, which is the same for the rib. I was concerned that the rib was gonna flare too much because these are the same needle size, but I think it's actually fine because I feel like the top kind of pulls and then the bottom, like, I don't even think it flares, but maybe a little bit, but like overall it ends up being like the same length. This is too long-winded for what I need it to be. I'm gonna go. I am so close now to finishing this cardigan. So today I finished the second button band. Literally, as you can see, all I have left to do is tonight I'm gonna do the collar and I need to re-knit one of the cuffs. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's always looking like so far. I am obviously hoping that this is gonna like block out and drop a bit, but I'm super pleased with how these button bands turned out, considering they're applied I-cord and they're not knit like in, I don't know, at the same time as the main body. So yeah, I feel like this looks really not great without a neckline on, but we're going to be doing that tonight, so it's fine. I am torn on what project I'm going to start next. I will maybe show you some contenders of yarn. I don't know if I should do it now or in a bit, because basically I've started, when I self-draft before, I would self-draft, I would make a sample, and then if it was to become a pattern, I would grade it up after that, write the pattern, etc. But the last couple of things, so like the v-neck and this, I did both of them. I basically graded them first, designed on a spreadsheet, and then knit myself a sample, and it basically worked super well, because essentially all the work is done and you're just checking that it works. I just found that I really like working that way with things, because it also means that I'm not constantly having to try things on, like especially if I'm out and about, can't be trying things on and whatnot. I can literally just like reference the numbers and the stitches and rows I've already got going on the spreadsheet. So if I am to start another new piece either today or tomorrow, it is gonna have to be via spreadsheet. I don't think I'll actually be starting knitting necessarily. The couple of yarns that I'm thinking of are already swatched up and the swatches are blocked, so that's not going to be too much ag. I'm gonna basically try and finish off this today, and then yeah, fingers crossed we can essentially design and knit another piece. It's time for me to start doing this sewn bind off. I always get it mixed up. I think it is Italian, where you don't do like the 2 rows of double knit first. I am just hoping that this doesn't break as badly as it did on the bottom hem, because I didn't run into that problem on the sleeves, and so I don't really know why I ran into it on the, I just had such a brain fart then, on the body. I know obviously like you do pull like a longer strand, but like I don't know, even still I feel like it broke quite early on, so I'm gonna try and be like careful with this, but at the same time like I do want it to be quite tight, so I don't want to not pull it tight enough, because I did just try this on actually, and it does look like the neckline is going to be fine. I was worried it was going to be a bit wide at first, but I think now that I've put the rib on, it's absolutely fine. Normally like with jumpers I tend to knit the I do like the yoke, then the sleeves, then the body, because the body's just like in the round until you run out of yarn. With cardigans I do typically like to knit the body first, because then you can do the button band and the neckline, and then you haven't wasted time doing sleeves if you need to go back and like frog or adjust anything. But for this particular project I was really concerned that I was gonna run out of the pink yarn, and so I kind of wanted to do the sleeves first, and then obviously I knew this was going to be cropped anyway, but I basically just had the luxury of like I could make this as long as I wanted or slash had yarn for. However, I have loads of it, well not loads, but like I have all of this left, and this is pretty much it for the knitting. I do need to re-knit the cuff, but that's only going to be using the yarn that's already in the cuff. If anything, it might give me actually a bit of excess, because I'm knitting the exact same amount of stitches and rows but on a smaller needle, so I might actually end up with like a little bit of excess. I might need to use some more black because I'm gonna cut off the bind off. I'm not gonna try and frog the Italian cast off. I'm just literally gonna cut and yeah, just frog back and then whatever. So I might need to use a little bit more black, but I did purchase more black yarn anyway, because my other thought process was if I run out of pink and I needed to do, say, like the button bands, the collar, etc., I would have done the trims in black instead of making the trims like striped as well. But I mean, as you can see, it was all Gucci. I do this every time. I'm like the opposite of someone that plays yarn chicken. Like, I always tragically, like, just horrifically overbuy yarn. I mean, it's not always like buy a lot, but like my scrap stash is just actually like a fair few projects. I just have like entire balls left over. Like my Cardigan jumper, I had like 2, and I would say like 80% of a third left over. Like this project, I think I actually have 2 whole balls of the soft tweed left, plus obviously that one, which again might crack into a little bit just to do the bind off on the cuff. But yeah, I always overbuy on yarn. I don't even mean to. I think I do just overestimate, and I am absolutely terrified of yarn chicken, so I would always rather have more. I'm kind of planning at some point to put all of my scraps into some kind of I say scrappy project, but again, it's not like they're like little lengths, they're like entire balls. I am considering potentially making another one of these cardigans, not like anytime soon, but eventually, because I think I have quite a lot of DK, like double knit weight scraps, which is what this cardigan calls for, and I also have a lot of like fingering weights, which obviously I could hold double. So what I might do is, once I've accumulated like more colours in like a colour scheme that I like, I might make one of these cardigans but have like whole sections of like different coloured stripes, instead of it all being like two colours like the whole way over. Like, yeah, just kind of alternate and, I don't know, just use up some more yarn, which I think could be quite cool. Quite a nice way to use some more. I guess I'll see realistically how much wear I get out of this, because I do feel like cardigans are generally something that I am missing more of in my wardrobe. I feel like when I buy clothes, I tend to buy more like pullover jumpers rather than like open things, like cardigans, zip up hoodies, that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like I do have more room for this kind of thing. But I'm literally gonna go along and just do this cast off, and then yeah, basically frog back on the sleeve. I don't think I'm gonna finish this whole thing tonight. I'm gonna take it with me again. Oh shit, oh fuck, I know how I just managed that. Okay, this is why I shouldn't talk and do Italian cast off. Yeah, I'm gonna take this with me tomorrow, and then I think I'll probably take my iPad to work, just in case I do, on the off chance, get a bit of time to work on my next design, whatever that may be. I actually doubt that I will, but I do not like to be caught out if I'm sat around. So yeah, that is that plan, and then hopefully get this blocking as well ASAP. I would love to have this washed and blocked in this video so that I can actually show like the proper final results. But yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna do this not chatting so I don't pull any more stitches off that are not meant to be. And yeah, I'll probably just show you this when it's finished at this point, to be honest. Truthfully, it's Wednesday. My cardigan is not finished yet. I wholeheartedly believed it was going to be done today, and it very well may be. But this morning, I accidentally ripped my thumbnail off. I got it caught on the fridge of all things, and basically, I'd already lost this one. So yeah, my hands are looking so naked right now. So I have just been making myself a new set of nails. So I'm gonna be, I can't even see, gonna be sticking these on. They're nothing very interesting. I got like a pack of stickers, so I don't know, they're kind of like summery themed. I feel like I always end up with like, yeah, they're like summery themed, I guess, but I'm gonna stick these on and then carry on in the cuff. But basically, last night before I went to bed, I filmed this whole section about what my next project was going to be, and I am kind of changing what I said, so I'm just going to refilm it here. So basically, the yarn that I want to use is the Isaiah Aran Tweed. This is in Confetti, and I was basically saying how I want to knit a saddle shoulder. So a saddle shoulder is really one of the only like shoulder constructions that I haven't experimented with yet, and I would like to. So what I was considering making was the Great Lakes pullover by Ozetta. Sorry, I'm just also trying to get the sticky things off my nails while I'm chatting to you. It hits gauge exactly. I'll try and pop a picture up on the screen. It's a really, really nice looking jumper. However, my problem is I do not like wearing high neck things. I find them really uncomfortable. I feel like I'm someone that like runs hot, so I end up getting like really just sweaty and like just not nice. So I was thinking I would knit it with like a lower neck, right? That's like a really easy mod. However, the neckline looks so wide, like in all the photos, and I put on my Instagram story, like, if anyone's knit this, please let me know your thoughts. And essentially the general consensus was, yeah, the neckline is wide, and some people even said that like even when they knit it to length, over time it has like significantly stretched out. And I also saw, I can't remember where it was, maybe it was like a Reddit post or something, or maybe like a, I don't know, like a Ravelry comment. It basically was like, oh, I haven't added the neckline yet, like the actual like picked up sort of like rib stitches, and I feel like it's literally fallen off my shoulders. And everyone was like, oh, like, you know, trust the process, it will kind of work out. In fact, no, it might have been TikTok, so not the point. But anyway, it really has deterred me because I'm really picky with necklines. I like a high neckline. Like this, for me, I feel like this top is too wide of a neckline. But I don't like them to be super high. I just like them to be tight around my neck. And then the other jumper that I was looking at is the Terrazzo jumper by Petite Knit. Terrazzo? I don't know how you say it. Which is kind of like not quite a saddle. It's kind of like somewhere between like a saddle and like a set-in sleeve. However, that one, the neckline looks fine, but doesn't have as much ease as I would like in the body. And I know I could knit a bigger size, but I'm only short, and with a bigger size comes deeper armholes, bigger neckline. I feel like there is a line between things looking oversized and things looking too big, and because I'm small, I quite often find that things fall into the this just looks too big on me category. So all of that is to say, I have decided that I am still going to self-draft a new piece. I am going to design it as in grade it, etc, and then maybe just see how the final thing comes out, because obviously this is a new construction for me and I don't want to put like pressure on myself to write this up as a pattern if I'm not like fully happy with the final piece. So that is going to be undecided yet. I was basically saying last night that I think it'd be really nice to have like a nice mindless knit and follow a pattern, which is always nice. I'm just too picky. Like, the only patterns that I have followed this year are the blouse number 1 by my favourite things knitwear, which I actually do really like the final piece of, and I did learn a new construction, and the sole top by Rose Knitwear, which I do like, but also like I would, if I was to make it again, I would definitely modify it. And this is why I always end up self-drafting everything, because I am just too picky. I'm too picky with everything, unfortunately. And I was thinking that maybe if I got the Great Lakes pullover, or even the Lakes pullover, even though they're a slightly different gauge, I could just modify the neckline. So what I was thinking is like essentially making the front neck smaller, or like knitting the saddles longer, so that the essentially like knit in this portion here into the body. I don't know if that makes any sense, but then I thought, if I'm having to do all of this work then we might as well just actually make a whole new pattern, because that is like, I feel like the hard part. The hardest part of writing patterns is ultimately getting the yoke, the neck and the sleeve heads to fit, in my opinion, because generally speaking, body length, sleeve decreases, body, yeah, I said everything I need to say there. It's so easily modified. You just knit in the round. Like, there's nothing complicated about the body of a stockinette jumper. All you're doing is knitting in the round, knitting every single stitch. Like, once you've established, on a top down sweater I'm talking about, once you've established everything up here, everything else is just like smooth sailing. So if I'm buying a pattern, I don't want to have to be adjusting everything that's going on up here, because that's what I'm paying for. I don't know, this is like a whole ramble, but yeah, to cut a very long story short, I'm going to try and design my own saddle shoulder using this yarn. So this is going to be the next project after the cardigan. I'm hoping to get started on it tomorrow. We shall see where we get to, but right now I need to put these nails on because I actually feel so naked. So yeah, I'm gonna go.
I think I bought this as color 1014, a mohair and a wool yarn, so we'll see.
I feel like we're due a little bit of a catch up, so don't mind my wet hair. Today is Saturday. I think I maybe last updated you on Wednesday or Thursday maybe. So I have finished my cardigan, I have started on my saddle shoulder, and I've also got a little smidge of a Vinted haul because I seem to have just gone a little bit mad on Vinted this month. Let me show you the cardi first. It is so humid today. We are kind of having like on and off rainy summer weather, so it's like really muggy, and I've had to turn the fan off, so I'm not going to try it on. You're just going to have to see it as is right now. But here is what she looks like, all done. I can't even remember if I showed you the collar or anything, so this is how the collar's looking. It sits super high up, it looks so nice. So yeah, this is the collar, and I decided to go for the darker buttons. On my Instagram poll, it came out like 65-35 for these, were like the bigger majority to the pearl, and then I asked my brother and he was like, yeah, these ones, so we went for these. I also did something different with it, well, not like different, but I haven't actually sewn on buttons with yarn before. I tend to use thread, but I quite like the pink kind of popping through the buttons. I think it looks quite cute. So she is all done. I have weaved most of my ends apart from the cuffs, because obviously I was faffing about reknitting those, but yeah, for the most part there actually wasn't loads and loads of ends. There was like a couple, but because obviously the pink, like I only had 2 hanks, so like I didn't have to join loads more balls in different places. The only ones I really had to do were the black ones. So yeah, that's what that looks like. And then I guess I can show you the back as well actually, because I think it looks super clean. So yeah, this is how the back is looking, and yeah, pre-block as well, but I really just loved the way that I'd managed to get these stripes to look on the back. Obviously it's got the big rib section, so plan is I need to block her. Probably will do it today so that she can get dry, and then hopefully I'll be able to show you in the next video what it looks like all finished, or obviously I'll put pictures on Instagram. So yeah, super pleased with that. I started on my saddle shoulder yesterday. So yesterday me and my boyfriend were kind of having like a bit of a lazy day. We had plans like in the evening, but we were just chilling in the day. Annoyingly, I couldn't get much further than I did because I didn't I brought the yarn with me, I brought my iPad, so to be fair I did fully grade it and blah blah blah, but I didn't bring any more cables. I didn't have my pencil case with me that has all of like the cable stoppers, even if I did have anything else. So yeah, unfortunately we only got this far. I have basically knit the saddles so This kind of looks a bit funny. These are essentially going to be the parts that go on the top of the shoulder like this. So this is how the confetti is looking all knit up. I just think it is so cool. So yeah, like I said, I have pretty much graded the whole thing, so I'm essentially knitting the sample from that. So today I am going to be basically picking up and connecting in the back and starting to knit the back portion. Thought I'd quickly show you as well because I don't think I have yet. This is the first cake. I feel like cakes are really deceiving when you do a centre pull, because I always think I've used more or less than I have, because obviously the outside kind of stays firm, but this is what it looks like. And these are what the actual hanks look like, which again are just so cool. These are just like pretty much bursting with all these other colours. So that is going to be the next project that we're going to be working on this weekend. I'm going out for dinner today because it's my dad's birthday tomorrow, but apart from that we are literally going to be knitting. So let me show you my vinted haul. This is a bit I don't want to say extreme. I don't often buy myself new clothes or new shoes because I wear a uniform to work. I don't really wear my own clothes. Like, I don't wear my own clothes for like the whole week, right? Because I'm literally just like black trousers, black shoes, whatever. But in the last video I was cleaning up and selling a load of trainers, and we wanted some new bits. Basically, the reason I went on to Vinted was because I wanted to buy some more like little stretchy Adidas shorts, because I literally live in my pair. Have I bought any? No. Have I bought 4 pairs of shoes and a skirt? Yeah. So let me show you, because I feel like, I don't know, I think they're so cool. These have literally just come this morning. I have bought myself a pair of Onitsuka Tigers. I think that's how you say it. These, I mean, you can see, are literally brand new. I've just tied the laces because I've tried them on, but I think these are so sick. They're like this, I don't even know, like this weird like beigey greyish kind of colour with like navy, and they've got this like almost like pistachio green bottom. I don't know, they are literally so comfortable. Like, I've just tried them on. I don't know, I might wear them out tonight, not sure yet, but they are so cool. And like I said, they're literally brand new. So like, if you buy these new, they're like £150. I got these on Vinted for like 60, which, considering they have never been worn, like, I think that is such a good deal. These are definitely like the most expensive thing that I have bought myself in a while, I would say, apart from yarn, but we don't need to talk about that. But yeah, this is the first pair. I also bought these, which I did wear out last night, so they are looking like a little bit creased, and also covered in ash because we were at a pub. Not everyone's gonna like these, and I know that. These are the Adidas Wales Bonner, I think that's how you say it, collab with like the big foldy tongues. They're obviously metallic silver. I don't know, I think they're so cool. The side bits are like the Adidas stripes are like ribbon as well, and yeah, they just got these cream. I feel like these are so cool. I do like a lot of Adidas shoes. I have like a couple of other pairs, but yeah, these are just so sick. When I was younger, I had this pair of red Converse and I loved them. Obviously I outgrew them, I was like a child. I've been saying for ages I want to get myself another pair of red Converse, and literally went on to Vinted, £3. Someone was selling these for £3. I had a couple saved at like £20, 15, and then, I mean, don't get me wrong, like they have obviously been worn, but I feel like £3, you literally can't go wrong. I actually couldn't believe my luck when these came up. So yeah, I literally can't wait to wear these. I feel like I'm healing my inner child with these. I also got a pair of sandals. I literally like never wear sandals. I have a couple pairs obviously for like holidays, but I feel like here, I don't know, I feel really weird about walking around with no socks on. And also I feel like if you go out in sandals here, even though I live in a coastal town, some places in the evening won't let you in open toe shoes, which is really well, I don't know, not the only time I go out, but I feel like generally to socialise, like, we do tend to go out in the evenings and like after work and stuff. But anyway, I got these. This one's undone because I tried it on. These are, I think they were Zara. Yeah, again, like, they have been worn, but like the actual top bit is still in such good condition. I think they just literally need like a bit of a dust. They just look like they've been sat in someone's cupboard for a bit. But I think these are so cute. I don't know, I love the red and the buckle. I have like a little handbag that I think is going to match these like perfectly. So yeah, that's that. And again, these were like £3 or £5, so literally I feel like you can't go wrong. Lastly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to even hold this up properly. Got this like full length skirt, like maxi skirt. I've got one like this which is from Urban Outfitters, but honestly, like, don't love the quality of it. It's got like an all over kind of like red paisley print. It's quite similar to the colour of them sandals, and literally from the moment I bought it, I think my mum actually bought it for me for my birthday, we went shopping, it literally has just scratched, like the whole of the surface has just scratched over. So yeah, I don't really wear that anymore. But anyway, yeah, got this. Again, this was new with tags on. I've literally just cut them off. It's got this like kind of cool like 2-layer thing going on at the bottom with like this lettuce hem. And yeah, I kind of really want to wear, hang on, I really want to wear like these trainers with this skirt. I feel like this is gonna be quite a cool fit. I was thinking about maybe doing like some styling videos with my knits if anyone's interested, but I've been talking for like 11 minutes, so I'm gonna start knitting on this Isia project, and yeah, I guess I'll check back in with you once we've got some, well, once we've started on the back panel.
On to make a Serena top.
I accidentally took a fat nap and I feel like I've woken up in like a different year. I'm going to be going out soon, so I thought I would quickly show you the progress that I've made on the back of this, because when I get back later it's probably going to be dark and I feel like it's meant to rain tomorrow. So I feel like this is really difficult because it curls in like different directions. So obviously this is actually the back, but this is kind of, well, I say kind of where I'm at. This is where I'm at. So I've done the saddles, which obviously you'll have seen, and I basically like went along, picked up, casted on for the back neck, and then picked up the other side. And this portion is predominantly German short rows, and then I've done a couple rows of just like flat stockinette. This is like really typical of jumper construction, so I'm sure most people that have knit something before will have probably done this in terms of like the back short rows and stuff. I am, even though this is a saddle shoulder, I'm essentially treating this as a drop shoulder with a saddle. So like, I know that a lot of saddle shoulders tend to have kind of set in sleeves and they're a little bit more, I would say, fitted. Because I still want this to be quite oversized, essentially the saddle is just going to go to like the shoulder drop, if that makes sense. I'm really loving how this yarn is knitting up so far. It does get thinner and thicker in places. Kind of reminds me of some of the Nora yarns in that kind of sense. There was one piece of yarn that got really, really thick. You can't really see it too much from the outside. So you can kind of see there's some like bigger stitches here, but you can kind of see it more on like the inside, like these kind of stitches. I don't know, maybe you can't actually, but it was literally like, I don't even know, significantly thicker. But once it's been knitted up, you really can't notice it, because I feel like the stitches that are thinner just get filled out by the stitches that are thicker anyway. And I think that once this is blocked, it's going to be super nice, because that's the other thing as well, like where obviously the shoulder and the back are curling in different directions, like this just looks like a whole load of nothing. So yeah, once it's flat, I think it'll be so nice. But yeah, I'm going out, so I'll probably chat to you tomorrow unless I have anything to say later tonight, which sometimes I do. I wish that my mirror was in a different place, but there's literally nowhere else to put it because I'm always backlit. But this is the outfit I'm wearing it out. I was gonna wear the other dress and then I decided not to. Got my new shoes on. Look, there's so much yarn on my carpet. Fucking cons of having carpet in your room. Wearing my new tigers, and then got on this little cream dress thing, denim jacket, and then a little bag to match. I'm gonna block this. As you will have seen, my cardigan is in the bath soaking, so I am going to quickly show you where I'm up to on this new project before I end the vlog today. So it is Sunday, it's just before 12, and I literally didn't work on this anymore last night. I ended up getting back really late from dinner, but have been working on it all of this morning pretty much. So I have finished the back yoke, which this is not super easy to hold flat, but essentially this is, yeah, the back panel. This yarn just looks so cool knitted up. So I'm about to pick up and start knitting forward on the front. I did just pick up on one side, but then I realized that I have to do it a bit differently because of like where the saddles place me on the front. So I just ripped back. I honestly hadn't been working on it for very long, but yeah, gonna start going forward, hopefully connect the yoke, and then I think what I'll probably do is once I have connected under the arms, I will probably put the collar on to make sure that everything like up here is working. I actually really don't mind the feel of this yarn. It feels woolly, but it's not like, I would say, rustic, or like it's not itchy. I don't know, it kind of feels like dry, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video off here once my cardigan finishes blocking, so fingers crossed that will be finished in the next one. It is absolutely pouring it down with rain today, and we've got the oil burner on, not the oil burner, the, what are they even called, diffuser on, and I'm literally just going to be sat here for the whole day just working on this, so it's absolute bliss. If you made it all the way to the end, as always, thank you for watching, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one. I'm on Instagram and everything, and yeah, see you later, bye.